This is the day we've been waiting for, arguably since the start of the season. It is Draft Lottery Day, and we are live. Thank you to everyone who is in the stream right now, or if you're watching after on YouTube, watching our reaction, well, you'll probably end up wanting to skip ahead to the actual reaction to the Montreal draft pick. But for now, Jesse, this is it. We're just getting straight into the stream, and the first thing we got to do is acknowledge the super chat that's getting us started before we even started the stream from Real Milton Bradley saying, "Let's go, les Canadiens." Interesting. Canadiens. The Canadiens are going to get first overall. We also got Denis Rongier, their channel member. Thank you very much, Denis, saying go Habs go. Guys, as always, we will be answering chats in priority for people who donate or channel members. But look at all the chats there, Jesse. People are thrilled for this. This is maybe the most exciting day we've had in a long time.
We're starting the stream off with a bang with the super chat. That's when you know we're getting the good vibes going early. I know all of us Montreal Canadiens fans, media, we're all thinking those positive thoughts today because this draft, what's going to happen in this next 15 minutes could have a dramatic future on the Montreal, could have a dramatic impact on the future of the Montreal Canadiens. Being able to get a Macklin Celebrini, being able to get, fall in that two sort of range to get a Demidov, right? But how I really feel about this draft, Josh, is that we got everything to gain and really nothing to lose because we already have such an amazing prospect pool. Now, for sure, it'll be great if we draft where we feel like for sure we can get one of those three top offensive players. I'm talking Lindstrom, of course, Demidov, Celebrini. But if not, you have to feel rest assured. Kent's going to make a move if he has to for too far back to probably move that up. Kent's got it covered. He's cooking right now as we speak. He's on the phone already. He's not wasting any time right now. We'll get into more of that in a little bit, but I'm really excited about this though, because, let's say even if we were to fall back, I just think we have so many great guys right now. Obviously Kent's going to do what we need, but it's like, that's the great part about having so many prospects is, some of the guys aren't going to be as good as we project. Some of them, though, are going to be even better. And I think that's something that's not talked about enough, right? So that's why it's so amazing that we have such a deep prospect pool as it is, and we're just looking to add to it tonight.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, fantastic take there. And yeah, we're saying like some people that you don't expect might end up being way better, or some people that you expect to be good might end up being way worse. And I think that could be true of the Montreal Canadiens system, but also this draft lottery here tonight, right? Like they said in Bob McKenzie's little draft ranking there, an amazing draft ranking. I think I still have it here. We got it right here. And before we get into it, Jesse, we got a super chat. And from who else but Angie Antolines with $20. Guys, leave some love in the chat. That is, I believe, the biggest donation we've ever received on stream. Oh my goodness, unbelievable. Leave some love in the chat for that. She says, missed the last stream, but there was no chance I'd be missing it today. Fan number one is right here. Hey, that's true. Angie is the number one fan. Fan number one. She's always here. Number one fan. Abraham is back again as well, Jesse, though. He said, let's go, guys. Positive vibes with the $7 donation. Abraham, you're outdone, though. The super fan Angie is back. Thank you so much to you both. To all three of you, Real Milton Bradley, for donating so early in this stream, guys. We are so happy to be doing this, and like we cannot explain how much it means to us that you guys are willing to support us like this. So thank you so much, Angie. Like an unbelievable donation. If you want anything, send it in the chat. We will answer it. Really appreciate you, and Abraham as well. Abraham, guys, if you missed yesterday's stream, we had a bit of a Abraham is maybe disliked a little bit in the chat because Abraham decided to get us to do some mock drafts and Montreal didn't pick first in any of them. But hey, Abraham, fantastic. Thank you so much. And Jesse,
practice.
Who else but George? George is here for the live stream. We all know George.
Oh,
George is here. First time in a live stream in a while. Great to see you, George. Doesn't say anything in the message, but George, if you want to say anything in chat, feel free. I know you maybe don't always feel comfortable. No worries at all. Just know that we are so thrilled to have you in this stream, along with everyone else in here. Jesse, I got sidetracked because we got people donating like crazy already. We got 350 people in here, and guys, guess what? For all of you who are in here, I'm going to be trying something. We're going to have the audio to the draft lottery playing when it comes on at 6:30. So you guys will get to react in real time along with us. This is going to be awesome. Cannot wait. We see Denis Rongier, channel member, again saying, let's gamble. Zen Mysterio says, did you guys see that beauty goal from Slaf? Well, Zen. But before, Jesse, we got another one. Jesse, we're rolling. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be rich. It's Plonko. It's Plonko with the €5. Ahoy, and please a minute of silence for Plonko for passing on a chance to see Cole Caufield and Slav in his hometown. Have you seen Second Line of Team USA? Plonko, I can't believe it. Jesse, oh, he missed out on the chance, but he's given us the €5. I mean, that's what a game to miss. But hey, all the same, Plonko, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate that so much. We love our Slovakian fans so much.
Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. And, oh my. And Denis Ranger, all he says is you are amazing with the $20 super chat with the sticker saying you are amazing. Denis, thank you so much for being a channel member and being such a big fan. This is unbelievable, guys. We have, what was that, $60 now in donations, and we just started. I can't believe this. Thank you so much. And Jesse, okay, we must honor Plonko though. He gave €5. Denis, I know you message all the time. If you want anything, again, just like Angie earlier with a $20 donation, feel free to ask us for something, and we will do whatever we can right now to help you out. But Jesse, I think we have to agree with the moment of silence for Plonko. Can we just take 10 seconds? All right, that's it. He loudly broke the silence, but thank you very much. And I'm actually going to play that Slav goal for you guys. We got this goal. If you didn't see it, from Juraj Slafkovsky, sorry you missed out, Plonko, but oh my gosh, what an absolute beauty that was. We're going to play one more time for you. And oh, insane, unbelievable stuff. Sad you missed out, but it was an amazing game. Slav is a beast. It's Jesse. Oh no. We have someone who overtook Angie for the top donation, and it's Abraham again. $28 in the super chat. Oh my goodness. He said, I was just using up the bad picks, guys. Trust. Hey, we trust you, Abraham. Look, you've been here. You've been supporting us. Honestly, Abraham's bringing the good luck today. Like we said yesterday with those mock drafts, he just got the bad luck picks out of the way. That's all it is. We're ready to lock and load today. And Jesse, you can maybe respond to this one. As George saying, happy draft lotto day, everyone. Thank you for messaging in the chat, George. That's amazing. He said, I'm so happy to be here live for the first time in months. Thank you, Josh, Jesse, and my friends who replied to my last post. That really made me happy. Guys, everyone give George some love in the chat right now, please. If you're in the chat, just message, say thank you, George. Say hi, George. Jesse, you got anything to say to George?
George, thank you so much for being here from day one. We really appreciate having you. You're actually a big motivation for the streams. We know that you were asking for them, and you were really a big reason we're like, okay, we need to get this rolling every week. So you're the big motivation for this. Thank you for everything that you do for this channel.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much, George. Yeah, guys, leave some more love there. We're gonna be going like this crazy, Jesse, because we got 3 more. Oh my gosh. Tommy Vesna, $5. Thank you for the stream, guys. Do you feel lucky? I'll ask you something. Do you feel lucky? I feel lucky, Jesse. I feel lucky. What about you?
Good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling lucky, right? Like we were seeing, we're having some good success with the lottos a little bit, but I've seen it from other analysts where they were doing the draft lotto. I saw the Montreal Canadiens come up a couple times, right? Like at that 5th position, we're within that striking place, right? And just thinking of like adding a player, like of course, Macklin Celebrini, like what this would change like for this channel, right? Just being able to cover somebody like this. But even if we don't get there, right? I think that there's some great players available. I have full confidence in Kent that we're going to be able to really kind of navigate a way to really get one of those top offensive talents. We know we got some practice from Abraham, we got some of them, some practice in the way, but honestly, the Montreal Canadiens, there's just a certain magic I feel to this team. That's why you never want to rule them out in situations. This is why we love this team. Like we know the history of, okay, they're down in the 3rd period. Maybe we're going back a couple generations in their glory days at Stanley Cups, but this is a team that comes through in the clutch, that wins, is the most, storied franchise in sports. So there's a little bit of magic, right? I think that counts a lot when it comes to these draft lotto nights.
100%, Jesse. We got another one here from Rider Pride 639. I'm sure a Rough Rider fan with that name. First time, well, that makes sense. First timer here from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Let's manifest the energy to reunite Celebrini and Hudson for the Bleu, Blanc et Rouge. Thank you so much, Rider Pride. 100%. We'd love to see that combo. But Jesse, the big one here, we got a new, I'm sorry, Angie. I am sorry, Abraham. But Denis Ranger taking the cake today, topping it up with a $30 super chat. And all he says after is always the first choice. He said, be happy to make us happy. Denis, you are making us happy, and we're so glad that we can make you happy. The support in this stream is unbelievable. real, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, we're just here chatting you about this stuff, and you guys willing to show that support to get recognition. Unbelievable. We have some other channel members in here, of course. We got Matt. Matt, thank you. Welcome back, Matt. Haven't seen you in a couple streams. Why do we have a 0% chance to get the 4th pick? Well, here's the reason, Matt. I'll do this briefly. There's 2 lotteries. One for the 1st overall pick, one for the 2nd overall pick, right? So either Montreal wins one or both, and they get the 1st or 2nd overall pick, or there's a chance where 2 teams say, let's say Montreal stays where they are at 5th, or they move down to 6 or 7 because teams jump them. Or they win a lottery and they go to 1st or 2nd. There's a niche case where they could end up 3rd. That way, if Montreal wins the lottery for the, this is tough to explain, I'm sorry. If the 12th overall team, you can only jump up 10 spots. If the 12th overall team wins the lottery for the 1st overall pick, they can only jump 10. So they actually jump up to number 2 because that's 10 spots. Then if Montreal wins the lottery for the 2nd overall pick, because that team would already be there in number 2, Montreal gets bumped to 3rd. There's no world where Montreal could get bumped down to 4th. They can only either get 1st, 2nd, niche case for 3rd, or move down. So thank you for the question. We got Denise is always the first choice. Yeah, I already got that. Derek Harper, longtime channel member as well. Been looking forward to this all day. Best Habs content out there. Go Habs, go. Thank you so much. And George said you guys are amazing. I did that, Jesse. Thanks, buddy. George giving you a nice little thank you, Jesse. But we're only 2 minutes away, guys. Leave a like on the stream. We got 450 of you in here. Get those like numbers up. You know we love the likes. We know you guys love clicking the button to see the number go up. That's what we're all about. Jesse, T-minus 2 minutes. Are we feeling a number 1 overall pick? I feel like we have to be. Like, we can't possibly have any other mindset right now.
No, that's it. We're setting our sights up high. Absolutely. And I really like the way that they made the draft now, where it is a little bit more wide open, right? Where it's not, okay, before they had in the past where you're finishing and you're almost guaranteed to get that top pick if you're kind of finishing last. That's what makes it so exciting about tonight, right? Is there's a lot of possibilities for a lot of different movement. And they've really found a sweet system where, okay, this is how much teams can really move up while still leaving it wide open. I think that they've really done a great job really of just, creating an event that really creates so much excitement and buzz for the National Hockey League.
100%. This is going to be amazing. I see some questions about what I'm going to show, what I'm not going to show. Guys, we cannot show the video. Our channel will probably get taken down. We're going to try with the audio. Hoping everything works well. I think it should. We're going to have some background music and stuff. It's going to be very low. You might not be able to hear it, but there will be audio. So we're going to try. If we wanted to be risk-free, we wouldn't show anything. But hey, we love you guys. We're going to try and do what we can for you, for everyone in here. Jesse, we got another super chat from Frank Thibault. Said, let's get the 2nd pick. Keep up the good work, guys. Well, we want one further than that, Frank. But look, I like that. You know why I like that? Because it's like, I'm not going to be too optimistic. Not going to win the 1st lottery. We're just going to win the 2nd one, right? Take people aback. Sweep them off their feet. Like, oh, we don't get the 1st, but hey, guess what we do get? The 2nd would be amazing. We got a chat from Denis saying, l'argent va leur permettre de continuer à nous tenir informés. Désolé de vous décevoir. Yeah, well, hey, that's it. I see, referring to us, l'argent va leur permettre de continuer à nous tous informer. Oh, okay, yeah. I think I get it, Jesse. Do you maybe want to clarify that? Maybe I'm not. I work in French all day, every day. What? Or maybe Denis, you can clarify.
Read it one more time to me, Josh.
L'argent va leur permettre de continuer à nous tenir informés. Désolé de vous décevoir. So money will allow them to continue to keep us informed. Sorry to deceive you, but I'm not really sure who that's directed towards.
Definitely. No, we appreciate honestly so much the support, and honestly it is true. We always want to provide the best quality content that we can, and honestly we just appreciate the community that we have. We know that we're so lucky to have such a positive, engaging community as well, right? That we kind of started this just as the Habs are really starting a new chapter, kind of a fresh page, and we feel like this community is a big example of that, right? Mm-hmm. So we really appreciate all your support, and it means the world to us.
Yeah, I said it's because the guy was talking about money. Makes sense. Thank you very much, Denise. We got another super chat, Jesse. This time from Conway Gritty. He said he's really happy that you're not rocking the 360 headset anymore. The Xbox 360 headset. I don't know. I liked the headset, but I mean, this is. I think it's much nicer. I like the pro mic that we got now. But what do you guys think? I'm gonna put a poll, Jesse. See if the people miss the headset or they like it this way. I don't think we're changing back. I just want to see how many people miss the headset. Do you miss the headset? And we're gonna do this, guys. We're about to share this. Oh, I think it's starting to go. Yes, no. Okay, start that poll. We're gonna put that up there, and guys, here we go. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. There we go. So hopefully this works. I hope this works the way I want it to work, guys. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but it is what it is. Hopefully there are no issues with this long term, but it doesn't matter because we're going to enjoy this with you. So maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. It is what it is. I see George saying I loved the headset. Oh, Jesse, maybe we got to make it a special occasion thing. You know, we break it out on occasion. But we see some dude named Tristan says, can't be watching for myself tonight. Glad to be hopping in for the watch party. Hey, that's what we're here for. Is we got Elliot Friedman, Kevin BX, Ron McLean, and I forget. Oh no, what's her name? I'm embarrassed. Now we're gonna skip it. Pretend I didn't say that. Jesse, we have a look at the poll. Yeah, most people don't miss the headset, but hey, I mean, look, it's an iconic part of the channel, right?
It is, absolutely. You know, we're going through our different stages as we're continuing to kind of disimprove what we're doing all the time, right? So I mean, we really appreciate the support, but just for George, I'm gonna have to rock it at least one more time.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna be amazing, guys. Well, hey, we're moving in. It should be in pink though, says George. Ooh, interesting. Jesse with the pink headset. Maybe we can paint it or something. We got a lot of people saying anyone but the Hawks. Yeah, guys, this is going good. Can you guys hear that at all in the background? I believe you probably should be able to. Someone said I couldn't find a feed for the lottery. Might as well follow along. Well, again, hopefully you guys can at least kind of hear it in the background. Again, we can't put it too loud. There's reasons for that. I'd like to somewhat apologize for that, but I think you guys understand. I'm actually gonna crank it a little bit more.
Such a great player. They've had,
there we go.
You know, in terms
maybe
of
that's a bit better for you guys. We're still going to be much louder in the stream, of course, but yeah, is what it is. Feed us on SM Plus if anyone has an account. So we found out today that you can't actually access Sportsnet Plus outside Canada. So anyway, that's a fun little thing. So here's the thing, Jesse. We're 3 minutes into this, and we're not even close to the lotto. What is going on?
You know, it's just the anticipation. It's just rising as we're getting closer. You know, it's getting to that time though, right? It's Josh. Where do you think though? Like, what is your take? Where do you think we're gonna fall with this pick?
Look, I'm a man of math, science, an engineer, as a lot of you guys know. So statistics tell me the most likely outcome is Montreal to pick 6th. So we're going to pick first overall because we're going to get Macklin Celebrini, because there's no, why would I work with the assumption that it's not going to happen? You guys know we're all about positivity on this channel, and we hope to share that with you guys. That positivity is what keeps us going. It's what keeps you guys coming back. Number 1 overall pick or bust. But Jesse, let's say we don't. Let's say we drop to 6. What are the odds, would you say, that Kent decides to trade up into, say, the top 2 or 3 to maybe get a top offensive talent? Do you think that's something that could reasonably be done, even if Montreal just drops a tiny bit?
I think it maybe opens us up to draft Jerome again. I mean, Tej Aginla in that spot there, because I think he's an absolute wonderful player. So I think we'd grab a player like that, but then we'd realize, okay, but we're probably going to want to do a trade, not the big free agent signing, but probably a trade to get in another young player with that, because we know with the Ginlets, it's going to take a minute, you know, and everything. And I would say a prospect is almost starting to fit our timeline very well as well, right? So I could see a world where even if we're falling back, we're going to get a really solid offensive player, whether that's a Cayden, whether, you know, that's an Ginla there. But then I see another move to kind of supplement that in terms of getting another young player via trade.
Yeah, I think so too. I see a chat there, someone saying where you say it's not available in Canada. Maybe I misspoke. I meant to say, if I didn't say this, it's not available outside Canada. You can get it in Canada, but anywhere outside Canada you can't. So it was a bit weird, but yeah, this is going to be crazy, because, you know, even Elliot Friedman was speculating recently, saying, hey, look at Montreal, you get first round pick. Like, I wonder what they could end up cooking up with it, right? VPN tried. Anyway, we're not gonna. We found it now, guys. We got it on now. The reason I muted it is because it's commercials. I'm not gonna play commercials for you guys. They're not paying us. We're not gonna pay their bills for them. Sorry. So Matt comes in and says, if Montreal doesn't get the first pick, I hope the Sharks get it. Yeah, Jesse, we haven't really gone over that. Like, if Montreal doesn't get the first pick, is there a team that you would want to get it? Well, like, there's a couple that I'd be like okay with. I don't want Chicago to get it. I don't really want Utah to get it. But is San Jose maybe your pick, or would you pick someone else?
San Jose could definitely use it, could definitely use the offensive help. It's nice to kind of spread it out around the league right now. We're seeing so much parity, right? So obviously, you know, Celebrini with a player like Bedard, right? That would be quite the combination for those two lines. It's like, as we're kind of rebuilding, I'd want to spread around the love, right? I don't want these other teams kind of getting like an upper hand on us on the rebuild, which I feel like Chicago seriously would by getting this first overall. It's a lot of the usual suspects. Of course, Columbus is kind of in the mix as well. They could definitely use some help there as well. But that's it. Like, I'm a homer. What can I say? I want the Montreal Canadiens to take it, but if not from there, then hopefully we can kind of spread out the talent a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be cool with a few teams taking it. I see a lot of people saying not Utah, not Hawks, right? Basically, that's fair enough. Someone's saying Seattle. Seattle's actually interesting. I did a lotto earlier, Jesse, where I was just doing some at work on my work computer, not this computer, because this is the sacred computer that had the 2 number 1 overall picks back to back, so I can't do it here. But I did it at work because that computer doesn't count, right? And it should be anyway. But so I did it there. And I was just doing a bunch. Montreal got first a few times, but one of the ones I got was Calgary jumped to number 1 and Seattle jumped to number 2. That's the most I've seen 2 picks like jump up next to each other in a while. So yeah, very, very interesting there. As I think the broadcast is back. I think. Well, they're just advertising Las Vegas right now. So let's see. Yep, there we go. We're back. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be great. I'm super excited. Okay. Jesse, I'm seeing a lot of people. I sent you this picture earlier. I don't know if you got a chance to look at it. People saying there was a leak, right, of what the real draft lottery order is. Did you get a chance to look at that picture?
I did. And I kind of liked seeing in that one where the Montreal Canadiens were a little bit further back. Because you got to feel like, okay, if that's what's getting leaked, as we hear lots of rumors with Betton, Mabley kind of manipulating the draft a little bit for the betterment of the NHL. Like, you got to feel if that was what was supposed to come out. Very, very shady, I would say, definitely. But, what's interesting about that is you'd have to feel the inverse of that. Okay, if that is what's being leaked, I very much doubt that. Then obviously the inverse of that would have to have the Montreal Canadiens much higher up in that redraft.
I love that logic. It's amazing. Yeah, like here's my thought, guys. Here's my thoughts. Denny's saying please not Chicago. George says San Jose first, if not Montreal. Hey, I think we're all kind of in agreement on that. But my take is this: either it's fake or was a test, like they're saying, or it's real, and there will be a massive news story showing that the draft lottery is in fact rigged, and they don't do it all at the time that they say they do. Which one is more likely to you guys? Like, here's the thing. If this ends up being the exact order, that's actually still possible. But if it's not the exact order, I think we'll be fine. If it is the exact order, be ready for one of the biggest news stories in sports this summer. So I'm just saying, Jesse, I feel like we're probably better to err on the side of maybe not, as they are showing the rooms for everyone celebrating. They should show our stream, let's be honest, right? I mean, we're basically icons in the Habs community. Not really. Not yet. Eventually, we want to get to that status. And we see the Utah sweaters that just say Utah. Jesse, do you have a front runner for their team name? I know Blizzard. I think I was a Blizzard. I've heard Bees. I've heard so many different things. Utah Hockey Club. I don't even know. Do you have any speculation on their name?
There's a couple kind of good ones. I'm not gonna lie, like I haven't seen one where it's like, oh yes, for sure, that would be so sweet. I think the front runners for me are the Utah Yetis.
Oh yeah.
And then the Utah Outlaws. Both those kind of roll off the tongue, I feel, a little bit. But I don't know, like I'm surprised. Like, do you feel, Josh, that there's any way where there's a name? Because I know that they bought the rights to certain names. However, I don't feel like it's so far in the process where maybe another name kind of gets put out. I know that they're going to be putting it to the fans, which I think, sometimes is a good way to decide these type of things, kind of give them ownership, make them feel part of the team already. I'm wondering if another name doesn't show up, and I'd kind of be interested in that possibility still. But other than that, I like the Yetis and I like the Outlaws.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I see someone saying Jazz Jr. Icons all the way, guys. I see someone asking me to raise the audio of the lottery, guys. Again, like, I'm gonna stay silent for a second just to test the levels. Yeah, okay. I mean, it is kind of quiet, but like you guys also got to understand, I can't just crank it and just not say anything. That's not how this works. But also my stream is my Sportsnet thing is not working very well, so hopefully it holds up and the audio stays. But I'm just gonna test the audio levels again. Okay, it's actually not bad. This is actually maybe a bit loud. Yeah, it's stuttering a bit. I'm gonna see if I can refresh this. So bear with me. Just gonna go to that one there. But in the meantime, they're showing Macklin Celebrini, Jesse. I mean, we know how big of an impact this guy could have on the Montreal Canadiens. Like, I know we talk a lot about how the rebuild would be over once we get a guy like Macklin Celebrini, but I think it's almost underrated. We say this every single video, but again, we got so many people in here, over 530 people talking with us about this stuff. Leave your thoughts on how Celebrini could be that difference maker for your organization within like a year or two. He's already completely NHL ready, which is kind of wild to me.
To the zone.
For sure, and like a lot of people are saying, like, okay, Macklin Celebrity's maybe not quite as good as some other first overall, and I get maybe not being quite as good as Connor Bedard, but you know what? I'll take a Macklin Celebrini all day, even in spite of a Connor Bedard. And here's my reason, guys, is like, I'd rather have a guy that maybe has a little bit less point totals, but plays such a solid 200-foot game like Macklin Celebrini does, than just being a pure offensive guy that doesn't play as much defense. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to take anything against Connor Bedard. He's an amazing hockey player. But I think for winning in the playoff hockey, which the Montreal Canadiens are all about, how perfect of a player would Macklin Celebrini be for this team? Not only does he fit our need, you know, he fits our style, our culture. He has that amazing chemistry already with one of our young players in Lane Hudson. There's just all these amazing factors, right, that really go in. And I think just in general, right, and as we're looking for other players, I think whether it's through trades or free agencies, we want the points, we want the goal totals, we want the skill, and we deserve to have it. But at the same time, when we're acquiring that new player, even if it's not the draft, I'm okay if the goal totals are just a little bit less if this guy's bringing an absolute incredible 200-foot game, because we've seen by Nick Suzuki what that can bring us.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so... Like, I mean, it's not underrated at all. It's what you need, right? Like, he is the kind of guy you plug and play onto any team, and he will be elite. Like just unbelievable on any team. And that's what you love. He's that top-end scoring center that every team wants, that Montreal can go get. I see some funny Utah names. I see someone saying Macklin Celebrini's ceiling is Nico Hischier. I think his ceiling's higher than Nico Hischier, personally. A fun fact, though, for you, Jesse. You know the last team to jump from number 5 to number 1? It was New Jersey in 2017, who jumped from number 5 to number 1 to draft Nico Hischier. Now, that draft was wild. I think New Jersey went from 5 to 1. I think Philadelphia went from like 13 to 2, and then Dallas went from 8 to 3 or something like that. But hey, New Jersey was the last team to do it, and we see people comparing him to Hischier. I'm just saying, that's maybe that's a coincidence, maybe it's not.
For sure, and that's such a great point to bring up, is that tonight we need to expect the unexpected, because for sure there's the maths, there's statistics and everything else, but one thing we always need to know that happens every time, there's always going to be something you just don't predict. That's one thing that you can't actually count on, is expecting the unexpected when it comes to draft lotto, right? Whether that's us moving up, there's just going to be some type of movement. There is the stats, there is the probabilities, but it's really not everything. We always see those movements, we always see those X factors like that, so that's what really makes tonight so much fun.
100%. It's going to be amazing. I see someone saying, what position are we? I was not here. Well, phase logic. Guess what? You're just in time, because it hasn't started yet. Somehow. They're still not doing anything. It's John Buchigros, I believe is his name, or I forget how to pronounce it. Anyway, he's talking with Gary Bettman, as you can probably hear in the background. George says 530 people live. Well, now we're up at 560. We're used to getting around 20 to 30 when you first started going live. So proud of you guys. You deserve it all. Thank you so much, George. I mean, coming from you, that's so amazing. Again, guys, like as you guys know, George has been around for so long. One of the longest supporters of the channel. Comments on every single video. Amazing stuff. But that's true, Jesse. We've come a long way. And speaking of that, we got another donation from Blanco, €2. Should NHL ban tanking by change of the draft system? I don't think banning tanking is the way to go. I mean, like, there's no way you can ever do that without it becoming unfair to just actual bad teams that perform poorly, that need good talent, right? I think what the NBA has done is decent. Number 1, 2, and like the bottom 3 teams all have equal odds at getting the first overall pick. Something like that maybe could be good, because the NHL is not equal right now, but I don't know if they really need to make too many more changes. What do you think, Jesse?
I think they've really refined the system a little bit, and I think rightfully so, because we saw a couple years where it was a little suspect, right? Where it's kind of the same candidates kind of getting those first overall picks. So they did need to adjust it. They did need to change the system. And I think they rightfully have. And they've kind of been tinkering with it over time. You're starting to see the NHL starting to be a lot more influenced by the NBA in terms of how they're doing everything, even in terms of how the playoffs roll out. If you can start the second round before the first rounds. totally finished just to kind of help with the movement and everything. So I think they're taking a lot of pages. They're always looking to improve it. I think that this is a lot better where it's at right now, where, like you said, rewarding the teams that really need it while still keeping that wow factor, that excitement there, because I think that's what makes it so interesting for all of us.
Very true. And speaking of that, Jesse, we're getting going right now.
The 15th.
I'll turn this up a little bit.
In the 2024.
So St. Louis stays where they are at number 16. Detroit stays where they are at number 15. So no changes yet, Jesse. This is the part where you usually don't see a whole lot. And even if a team here jumps up, well, 14 could affect Montreal.
The Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh, nothing yet. Nothing wrong yet. So again, if any team from here on out jumps up past Montreal, that could in theory bump Montreal down. And also, if a team jumps up, that means they won one of the 2 lotteries. So there's a lot of stuff. And if you're ahead, please don't spoil, because you guys are going to be ahead of us. I'm going to try not looking at the chat. Minnesota stays at 13. I'm actually going to cover the chat for this. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to look at the chat. I don't want anything to get spoiled. If there's any super chats, we're going to get to them after.
Goes to
number 12 is Philadelphia, which everything's going to plan so far, Jesse.
All right, so back here with 17-year-old.
Now they're there with Macklin Celebrini as they take a break.
Have you been on Zillow?
Bill Haley turns the 17 or the 12, and then he just lays it down, and you can just see him in the background.
All right, so you know you're going to be one of those teams.
Just waiting for Macklin Celebrini to stop talking. Bill Daly back there in the background, unbelievable stuff, pure comedy. No jumps yet, Jesse, which is, I guess, good, because none of these teams win the lottery. The further we go, the higher likelihood that it's Montreal that wins one. And here we go, back again.
The 11th pick in the 2024 draft.
Number 11.
Goes to
Buffalo. That's
Sabres.
the same. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm so nervous. Not looking at chat. I'm sorry, guys. Number 10
will be made
by New Jersey. Nothing yet. Waiting for Calgary at number 9, Jesse, because you know they're going to want Teach there.
We're talking about a guy by the name of Cole Eiserman, a really polarizing
so they're talking about
prospect
Cole
who at the start of the year was
Eiserman. What is that? They go to, I guess they're doing 5 picks at a time. And there's just a guy just walking past the background. Cole Eiserman. Like, just
allow him to surpass
Cole Eiserman.
Number 1 on the United States National
Cole Eiserman passed Cole Caufield, Jesse. Broke his record. He's pretty good.
He's in some great company.
He is an amazing player. Just got round out a little bit, right? But it seems like this guy's going to do really well at the NHL. Just can he bring that defensive part of his game? If he came to Montreal, could Marty St. Louis convince him? I mean, if there's one guy, right, that could really get the respect of an offensive player, you have to feel like it'd be Marty St. Louis.
True. Calgary's picking 9. They're probably going to want to get Teach there. I imagine that's what they're targeting. Number 8 goes to Seattle. No one's jumping up yet. So we got 7 picks left. We got hope. 7th overall. Come on. It's Ottawa. Okay, so now if Utah is picking here, it means they don't win the lottery. We're going to see. Please don't be Montreal. Because Montreal could be here in that. No matter what, I'm pumped. Okay, who is number 5?
Belongs to the Montreal Canadiens.
It's number 5. Okay, but that's okay. Number 5 is okay. Number 5 is all right. We didn't win. We didn't get Macklin. Look, you know what though? It's time for Kent to cook. Kent needs to cook. It's time for him to cook. He's gonna need to do something. The 5th overall pick. Will he trade it? Will he do something with it? I don't know. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to the chat because I turned it off, and a lot of people saying 5th. I know our pick. We got 5th. Oh, a lot of people in there. We got 600 people there. Okay. Stream is so glitched. Is it glitched? If it's glitched, please. Oh, the sound. Oh, ooh. Okay. Is the audio any better if I do that? Sorry for the audio being glitchy. Is it any better if I do this? Are they getting DMCA'd for audio? I hope not. It's better now? Stream audio glitch. Yes, now. It's better. Okay. So it seemed like something was going on. I think we're okay. Yeah, I turned it off because Montreal's picking 5th. Columbus is 4th. Don't need the audio for the rest of it. Audio's clear. We're good, Jesse. Who knows what happened there? Maybe it was my computer. Maybe it was something else. The stream's still going. I think we're okay. But 5th overall. Who's your guy?
Cayden Lindstrom.
Same. Absolutely same, which is awesome because Cayden Lindstrom and Bob McKenzie's list, which I wanted to bring up earlier, but I didn't. This, again, is informed by actual scouts in the NHL. George says it's still glitching. So still clipping in and out? Hold on. Just refresh the stream. It's fine. Okay. So it's not on your end. It's the people watching that have bad internet. That many people got bad internet at the exact same time? Okay. Well, you know what? I turned off everything. You're fine. Okay, we're good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Did it ever actually glitch? I don't. Is this just a massive troll? Okay, good. We're good. We're fine, Jesse. Bringing this back up. So we got Celebrini, Demidov, Silayev, Levshunov, and Lindstrom in that top 5. Now, we got the top 5 is exactly who we expected it to be. I mean, everything seems to be in order. We got the top 4 is going to be Chicago, Anaheim, San Jose, not in that order. Chicago, Anaheim, San Jose, and Columbus, which some people might know the actual results right now. So with that known, I think it's very possible that a few of them pick defensemen, but the problem is, would it shock you to see Cayden, Lindstrom go in like even the top 3? And if that's the case, if Demidov, Lindstrom, and Macklin Celebrini are all gone, what would you do?
Well, Ken's going to have to do his homework first, really, to determine that, because 5th, it's good, right? And we want to thank Sean Monahan, Kent Hughes for doing everything we could, because every little bit helps still with this 5th pick, right? This is what's going to give us that chance at getting a Cayden Lindstrom, where if we're following at a 6-7, I think you can rule out that possibility completely at that point. But I think 5th, we still have a chance, Josh. And the reason for that is as you've mentioned, previously, is like the fact that he had a hand injury and a back injury this year might actually work in the Montreal Canadiens' favor, where otherwise it'd be a no-brainer kind of pick within the top 5, before the top 5, before we get a chance to pick. But now, because of that, we do have the possibility that maybe he falls, to us at 5, because we know this is such a defenseman-heavy draft. So I think there is a really good likelihood, even if Kent stands pat, that, I think Demidov going 2nd. We know Celebrini is going 1st. Maybe if we could get those, D-men going 3 and 4 for the quality that there are within the top 10, I could absolutely see a world about this. But this is where it gets spicy and interesting for us, Josh, because it's right at that point where Kent, he's going to need to determine where the other teams are at. And he might need to possibly make a move to kind of move up to a 4, to move up to a 3 spot, to get a chance at a Cayden Lindstrom for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And guys, I'm seeing a lot of people, like, we dropped 150 viewers. I'm taking the audio is actually bad. Half the people are saying it is. Everyone, guys, just refresh the stream, because people are saying it's good after a refresh. George says it's perfect after a refresh. Everyone who's here, you can refresh the stream, should be good. On my end here, there's nothing wrong. Like, it's YouTube says I have excellent connection. My OBS says it's fine. So refresh your stream. Shame that we lost so many people, but hey, it is what it is. Appreciate you guys who stuck around. San Jose, it looks like, is getting number 1, Jesse. I turned off the thing because, I was worried about the audio, but all things considered, San Jose gets number 1. It's not Chicago. Chicago got number 2. Anaheim got number 3. Honestly, I'm thrilled for San Jose. They now have Will Smith coming in, and they have Macklin Celebrini. That, to me, is absolutely insanely good to kickstart their rebuild.
Absolutely. 2 players that you have to feel work really well together. That's it. So, with Will Smith, they can almost say they're almost kind of close in terms of quality, in terms of players as well, because last year was obviously a very good draft. So it's going to be amazing to see these players. And as we were talking about, kind of nice to spread out the love a little bit. San Jose definitely needed a big boost to their rebuild. And it's nice to see that they're going to be getting just that.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to change the title of the stream. I don't even know what to change it to at this point. But yeah, honestly, I'm super thrilled about that. People are saying the reboot worked. Thank you. So if you're still having problems, just refresh. Again, sucks that we lost a bunch of you. You're coming back. There we go. We're coming back. We're getting people back in here. So thank you very much. And hey, again, if this is your first time watching, if you want to chat, just subscribe to the channel. You know what? There's a lot of you watching this right now. It seems to be over 65% of you people in here, if not more, are not subscribed to the channel. And we have daily Montreal Canadiens and even sometimes all NHL content. So if you want to be part of that with us, hit the button down below. We're going to be here all off season long. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much. And guys, we're almost at 200 likes. Let's get a like there. It would be amazing. Thank you so much. George says, yes, San Jose, great. We're all thrilled about San Jose getting that pick, but I want to focus on Montreal. Change it to George is the best. Well, George, you know what? I might put that at the end of the title once we upload this after. Little shout out, George, at the end. Denis Ranger says, no defenseman. And I see a question saying, if Lindstrom is gone, who do you guys want? Well, I mean, there's a lot of options. I think we could trade if we're just going pure forwards and we're talking like Celebrini's not available, Demidov's not available, and Lindstrom's not available. My next best forward, honestly, Jesse, to me is probably Xhekaj. Just because I know the Habs aren't going to pick Berkeley Catton. I like Consta Helenius, but he feels just like kind of a safe guy that's going to have a solid career. He doesn't seem like that kind of game-breaking guy. I could be wrong about that, but is that a bearing wall behind me? I don't think so. I think that goes straight to the neighbors, so we're not gonna. That's my thing, Jesse. I feel like Xhekaj, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Habs value Beckett Seneca. If Lindstrom is gone, maybe they trade back to get Seneca in that case if they think they can really get him. And if he's their top guy, if he's their number one, and they're the 5th overall pick, and they know he's not going to get picked until 10, you can maybe trade back and get some assets. My pick would probably be Tej. Who's your pick at forward if it's not Lindstrom and we assume Demidov and Celebrini are gone?
Well, Cole Yzerman is the most skilled player after Kaiden and Lindstrom in terms of offensive players in this draft. However, I don't feel that they will draft him, but he will be interesting all the same because what we need specifically is goal scoring. And I would argue skill, because it's nice to have those guys that can win the puck battles, win the board battles, but you need definitely to have the skill. You need to balance out those things as well. And I could see a solid argument for being that one of the things that the Montreal Canadiens need the most. However, when you got a player like Xhekaj, who you feel can really kind of perform in the playoffs, I think that Kent Hughes was really impressed by his performance at the U18s, especially in that gold medal, playing so well, contributing to winning hockey, being a part of basically every single goal. So for me, that is a player with such skill, again, playing well in the playoffs when it really matters. He does have that goal scoring as well. So I definitely hear you on Tej. I think that Kent is definitely a huge fan of his, but I think at the same time, you need to do your homework on Cole Yzerman just for what he could offer this team.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you have to interview him. But the thing is, if all the things about Yzerman are true and he actually does have attitude problems and actually is uncoachable, whatever, these things when a kid's 17, it's always almost impossible to predict. If it's true, you don't draft him. And Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton won't draft him. That is what it is, right, Jesse? By the way, George, check out the title. Just wanted to say we're gonna give you that for a little bit. A lot of people are saying no to Seneca, but yeah, I mean, Yzerman is good. But again, we don't know if Montreal was one of the 10 teams considered in Bob McKenzie's list, 10 teams he talked to. But of those 10 teams, 0 had Cole Yzerman in their top 5. A few had him in their top 10. Right? I think it was half of them, but a lot of people didn't, and he was ranked 13. Cole Yzerman was 13, Beckett Seneca was 14. Do I have the full thing? I'm going to see if I have the full thing. So, yeah, let's just go back over this. So, let's go over the full thing again, because this is very, very important. The Bob McKenzie one. 5 scouts had Demidov as the number 2 behind Celebrini, but 5 others, there were 3 for Levshunov, 2 for Salayev, right? So there's some interesting takes at number 2 even, and then for number 3, you only have 2 for Demidov, which is now only 7 total for Demidov. So that means some scouts had Demidov 4th and 5th. And if we go here, one had Demidov 4th and 1 had Demidov 5th. So of those 10, 1 of those 10 thinks that they wouldn't take Demidov with a top 4 pick, right? And of these other teams, even if a team had him 4th, maybe one of their preferred players is ahead. Maybe I'm getting high on copium right now. But there's a world where Ivan Demidov falls to Montreal. Is it a world that's close to us and easily attainable? No, probably not. Let's be completely honest. But I'm just saying, like they said, it's very possible with teams that pick 2 to 6 are all going to get the player that they ranked number 2 behind Celebrini, Jesse. And I think that's what makes this so exciting that Montreal didn't drop 2 spots, let alone 1. Staying solid at number 5, honestly, is such a win for a draft like this, where so many of those guys are so close in talent.
And you have to feel like with the Russian factor, maybe that's what will allow him to kind of slip a little bit. But, we got to feel like Bobby Mack definitely has the best pulse. Again, the way that he does it, his procedure of just interviewing all these different scouts, right? And then really getting these consensus sort of opinions. It really comes in handy so much at these point in time. So, Bobby Mack has him at number 2. So you have to feel like that's most likely. But I mean, how unreal would that be? Because we know there is some amazing offensive defensemen in this year's draft where that would maybe allow Demidov to fall to us at 5th. We would honestly be so fortunate if that was the case. I would love that.
It'd be amazing. And well, hey, you know what? we're here talking about the draft. Why don't we do just a little bit of a run through of that list again? I know I had some of these things here, but maybe go over some of what they had to say about each of these players. Why don't we do that? Before I go there, Dino Jay says, why not a blockbuster trade to get 4 to 5 players plus some picks? I think that's coming, Vinny. I think that's coming at some point, surprisingly soon. Maybe not this offseason, but some point soon. I think Kent has the assets. But here's what we're going to do, Jesse. I'm going to go back to the duo web. I'm going to bring you over because I still haven't fixed that. That's sorry. But anyway, you're here. So obviously we're not getting Celebrini. That's fine. But Demidov, he's a skilled center, has been incredibly dynamic and productive in the Russian MHL, has bolted up the ranks. And if I just bring up Ivan Demidov elite prospects and we go to his page here, like you guys will know, like his stat output has been unbelievable. Oh, you can't actually see it. The total points is cut off. Can I do like this? There we go. I'll do that. So you can see in the MHL, 60 points in 30 games. That is insane, right? And he also did 62 points in 41 games last year. Those kind of numbers are extremely, extremely hard to come by. Now, I know, Jesse, there are a lot of concerns with Ivan Demidov when it comes to him actually playing well against a higher league. I think people want to see him in the KHL first, but these kind of numbers, like, it's almost impossible to turn down if you have the chance to pick this guy. Just like, that's the thing. There's a reason he's number 2, pretty much not consensus, but almost consensus, is because even if he's not as proven against better competition as other prospects, that potential from what we've seen from him is beyond so many other guys.
That's for sure. And even though he's playing in the MHL right now, what he's doing is he's really trying things out on the ice. He's really trying to push like the limits of his capabilities and of his skill, right, to really make things happen. So even though he's playing in this lower league, he is absolutely torching it up. And I like that he's really pushing his skills and his talents to the limit to see where he is. I think that that's the best thing to do if you really want to be able to take it to the next level, you know, at the higher up leagues, right? Is really, you got to push it to the max of where you're at, being creative, trying things with the puck, being inventive out there. He is just such an entertaining player. If this guy came to Montreal, be like a Kovalev, but with even more skill, I would argue. And, you know, obviously the defensive game. So all the things that we like about Kovalev and none of the things that we didn't like, right? So it'd be amazing to see. We're not trying to slander on Kovalev. No, we like Kovalev. I love Kovalev. But it would be absolutely unreal to see him here. Just for that all-around game that he plays, that's what makes him so exciting to me.
So I see a trade proposal there in chat. Someone's saying Guhle and our other first for Chicago's first. I assume you mean Guhle and the Winnipeg first for second overall. I don't think Chicago does that because realistically, I think a lot of teams are going to have players that are quite high that they probably value more than Guhle. I see people saying Guhle's injury prone. Like, yeah, you do have to give up something to get something. I completely agree with that comment, but someone like Guhle, like, I think people think he's replaceable. I don't know if he actually is, right? Like, maybe if you're Montreal and Demidov is your clear number 2 behind Celebrini, there's no one else, and you can trade the Winnipeg pick and Guhle to get up to number 2, and then you still keep number 5 where you can draft someone like a Sam Dickinson? Maybe. I don't think that's actually that insane. I just don't think Chicago ever accepts that.
Yeah, we're in a situation right now where in a trade proposal and a package, what's nice is that we can put a little bit of quality in there, which obviously Jayden Guhle is absolutely that. I'm not suggesting it's him, let's say, but just give an example of a very quality prospect, young NHL player. But we can also throw some quantity in there as well, which is nice about the position we have. And of course, for a big trade like that, you definitely have to have the skill to kind of balance it out. But when you're being able to offer a couple prospects, a really good pick, and here's a quality NHLer right now, kind of top pairing sort of guy, right? Like Kaiden Guhle, you could argue, is going to be a top pairing defenseman in the NHL. And a lot of teams that are drafting maybe second, third overall, they're looking to draft a guy that, you know, maybe their ceiling is to be a top pairing defenseman, top 4 defenseman in this league. Except with Kaiden Guhle, you really know that, you know, for a fact, right? And what you're having for sure, there's a little bit of injury there, right? But that's what's nice about the amount of really of just assets that we have right now. And I'd be really interested. I'm sure Kent has to be thinking, what type of package could we put together? I think Kent has to at least consider it at this point to move up. What do you think, Josh? Do you think that Kent is going to be thinking about this?
I mean, I think he's going to be thinking about it. I think he's going to be thinking about everything. And that's why I love Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton and what they've done. Like, they've made it clear that they're open, right? Like, you make an offer, like even throughout the trade deadline and stuff, he said, we're not going to say we're not going to trade anyone because well, let me rephrase that. He said, if you're talking about a player, we're never going to say, no, I'm not going to trade him because you never know what you might get. And Kent Hughes has always been very open about saying if the package that they're offered is reasonable, they might as well listen, right? Because there's never any harm in just listening, right? Unless maybe you're worried, oh, the player's name's going to be out in trade rumors, whatever, but players' names are always in trade rumors. So I think he's going to listen on absolutely everything, but I also think he's going to go hunting. I think he's going to do more than just listen. I think Kent Hughes is going to be on the prowl. He's going to cook something up. Kent is going to cook something up this summer. Elliot Friedman started to speculate about it. Elliot Friedman, he also speculated about Seth Jones to Toronto, but hey, it is what it is. But I really think that we're going to see a trade on draft night, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as big as some people think it might be. I don't think it's going to be some huge blockbuster, but I think it's going to be something that betters the team. As Jesse, we get another super chat. We're back on the super chat train, and it's from no one else but George. Thanks for another amazing live show. I learned so much from everyone here. That's awesome to hear, George. Also, thanks for all your support, Josh and Jesse. Live for 3 more hours? I don't know if we get 3 more hours in this, George. I think we're probably going to push about the hour mark like we usually do. I'd say we got about another 10 minutes or so. But no, this is just an amazing stuff. But yeah, let's go right now. I want to ask this question to chat. There's a lot of people in chat who seemingly always want to trade players. Whether it's a Guhle, whether it's a Matheson, which gets a lot, whether it's a Josh Anderson, this kind of stuff. I want to hear your chats. Who's one guy that you would want to trade from Montreal that you actually think we can get something good back for? I think Matheson's a good answer, and I think Guhle's a good answer. Fair enough. But I think there might be some other names. I still personally think, while it's not the value we'd like, I think the Habs could get a return for Josh Anderson that is something I think the Habs will be able to make a trade involving Josh Anderson that we don't look at as oh my, really? That's what we had to do to give up Anderson? I feel like we won't have to pay too much to get rid of him. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm deluded, but it still feels like some teams like the idea of Anderson. Even if Montreal has to maybe retain a bit for a couple of years, I don't know if they'd be willing to do that. But I think there's a world, Jesse, where we can get rid of him. I don't know. Is that crazy? And do you maybe have a player that you think we can actually get solid value for?
Well, I think, with Kent, obviously, you can never really rule that out. It's going to be a tough sell, but obviously, I think that we can kind of do that for sure, right? But I think if we're looking for potential trades right now, is we have so many prospects, right? And I love an Adam Engstrom, players like that. But I think kind of selling high on a player like this, where we think there's definitely some value there, but at the same time, it's we're really kind of selling on the potential, right? Because we know with prospects, a lot of them can be great, but a lot of them as well, right, don't always pan out. So sometimes you want to sell high. Not saying that he's not going to be good, but just because we have so many already. So really selling on that potential. And I think you do need to look at some quality players. I love, obviously, I think Mayu could add a lot to this team. I love a Reinbacher. Those guys would obviously be very, very hard to move. But if we can go just to a slightly lesser class of prospect that still has some value, kind of sell high while also creating some space. No, we're not going to have room for all of them. I think that's where a move needs to be made.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And let me also clarify, guys. I'm not saying the Habs are going to get a haul for Josh Anderson. I'm just saying that I think that some people are thinking they'd have to give up a lot of draft capital just to get rid of Anderson's contract. I'm just saying that the value in an Anderson trade might be better than you think. And I'm just saying that they might not get anything that's ever NHL ready in return. Maybe they would, maybe a future fifth or something, but I don't think they're going to have to give up a first just to get rid of his contract. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. That's my hot take. And we got another super chat from Derek Roberts. Jesse, for $2.79, I see a message down there. He said, forgot the message. LOL. Who are your 6 opening night defensemen for the Habs next season? Derek, that is an excellent question. I also saw George say Jordan Harris is the guy that he would trade. That's a good call, George, actually. I think because Harris is someone we know is established. Maybe his potential, we kind of have a better idea. But 6 opening night defensemen, Jesse, this is something we've talked about a lot. And we see some people talking in the chat already. This is tough because, you have to lock in, I think, Guhle, Matheson, Savard. My gut was just Guhle, Matheson, Savard, Xhekaj, Kovacevic. But then I was like, okay, but there's also Barron, there's also Mayu, there's also Hudson, there's also Reinbacher. This is tough. And there's Harris and Struble. So I also forgot both of them. That's what I'm saying, right? So let's say Matheson Guhle is a pairing. I say you put Xhekaj with Savard, I would say. Oh gosh. Xhekaj with Savard, and then oh man, Xhekaj, and that's actually so tough, Jesse. I think this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to have to use some chat for inspiration here. Let me just have a look down here. Mailloux, Matheson, Barron, Harris. Oh, Beck. Well, Beck's not a defenseman. Let me just check. Harris, Mailloux, Barron, Reinbacher. This is actually hard. I'm actually really struggling, Jesse. I mean, I think Matheson, Guhle, Savard are obviously guarantees. I think Xhekaj is maybe close to a guarantee, but I actually think that Harris is more likely. I think okay. Matheson, Guhle, Xhekaj, Savard, Harris, Struble, and Kovacevic is the 7th, and I don't think Barron makes it. This is assuming Lane Hutson doesn't make the team to start. That's probably my guess, unless I'm forgetting someone obvious like I usually do. Do you have any idea? That's crazy.
For sure. I got, so first pairing, Guhle, Matheson. Then I got Hudson, Savard,
Okay.
Savard on the right. And then I got Xhekaj, Struble.
Xhekaj.
And now we know like Mailloux, and we know we got Reinbacher knocking. I think they're going to be there soon enough. I think that's why you give the benefit of the doubt to Struble. But like, this is getting jam-packed really quick, because it's like, I want Arber, Xhekaj on this team. But I mean, I also, feel like there's a spot on this decor, even though it's another wing for, obviously for, like a Struble, as well. And so it's like, you have to feel like it's getting crowded extremely, extremely quick. I feel like Hudson's going to be one of those young guys that he's just going to make it right away. Reinbacher, Mailloux, they're going to be ready to go. But, Struble and Xhekaj, I think they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. But this is honestly a plethora of riches, because I really like a lot of these guys that we're naming. I think they're really going to come into their own. This is going to be really amazing to see how this goes forward. And some of these guys, if we're talking about, some possible trade bait, if it's not moving up the draft to try and get that young guy to try and complement whoever we're getting in that 5th overall pick. I think if you don't get that Macklin Celebrini, you can make the best out of by getting a really good 5th pick and then getting somebody else where it's like, okay, it's not quite Macklin, but these two players, it can come up kind of close, right? So I could see that kind of playing out for next year.
Yeah, there's a million different scenarios, right? Like of all those guys I just mentioned, I'd say half of them are on the trade block, like always talked about on the trade block. Like it's just unbelievable stuff. I think you're pretty much on the money. It's, for me, like, I feel like Xhekaj Savard has been such a good pairing. I'd like to see more of it. Oh man, but to say, like, based on just merit, I think Harris has to be in the lineup over Struble. That's my only thing, but I also think Harris is probably the most likely to be traded, because I think he shows a lot of value. I also think Struble has a lot of value league-wide. I don't really have any specific sources for that, but I got a feeling like Struble is that kind of guy that he's going to be around the league for a long time, especially if he taps into that offensive potential he showed at Northeastern, like even just a little bit more like he did when he first came up. If he can tap into that, he's already so physical and so scary to play against. Can you imagine having that guy like Struble with a decent offensive upside while also being very physical on a playoff run? I would love to have him for Montreal, even if he's cycling as the 7th D, because there's a world where Montreal has 6 like top 4 defensemen, like it's not impossible. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, guys, there's so many chats here. I don't even know what to look at. Jesse, I'm in like I'm in a state of, I don't know, this is just fun. This is just awesome. Thank you guys for being here. I'm not quite calling it yet. If you got any questions, send them in the chat. We got a lot of debate about this defenseman question, which just shows that question. Was it Derek Roberts? That question was absolutely phenomenal because it spurred so much discussion. George said, "Oh, Jesse, this is good news. We know George loves his boy Jack. I got my new Xhekaj jersey last week. I now have 6 jerseys, including Suzuki's All-Star jersey from last year. Slag." I'm assuming Slap is next. Slapzilla is next for him, Jesse. And I also got a new jersey. I'm going to go get it as you talk to the chat.
Absolutely. We got to make sure it's a double XL for Slapzilla there for sure, but that's it. You got to feel like you're going to need to get ready, George, for next year. There's definitely going to be, I think the Hudson one might be another very nice combination. Oh, there's the away one right now. Oh, we have the big unveil. I'm liking that, Josh. That is looking sharp, buddy.
Yeah, look at
I'm
that.
liking that.
Beauty. No name on it yet,
Wow.
boys. If anyone knows a spot in Quebec City to get numbers or like a name and a number on the jersey, would really appreciate it. Because I really don't know. I'm sure I can find it. I'm sure maybe Centre Vidéotron could do it or something like that. But this here is it's an authentic Adidas. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got like the straps and stuff, whatever. These things are usually like $250, but Adidas's website, I saw someone post it online. Adidas's website had a sale where all jerseys were like, because they're now switching to Fanatics, which is the worst thing ever because, like, as you've probably seen in Major League Baseball, the Fanatics jerseys are not great quality. But so they were selling these Adidas ones on clearance. And so this one was like, I don't know, it was like 40% off. So it was like 100 or 30% off. So it was like 170. And then if you joined the Adi Club, the Adidas Club or whatever, you got an extra 40% off. So this authentic jersey that's usually like $270 or something, $250, I got for $100 shipped to my address. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore, but yeah, that sounds like a brag because it kind of is. Let's be honest, this is pretty nice. What do you think, Jesse? Are you a bigger fan of the white or the red? I actually don't have a red jersey. I only have white, but hey.
No, we'll need to change that, but all in good time. You got the baby blue as well, but no,
Yeah.
like the classic red obviously can't go wrong, but there's something just about the white jerseys, right? For the Montreal Canadiens, they look nice, right? Just that classic jersey. So you did right by getting that one, brother.
For sure. I actually forgot. I do have reds. I have two. I have a Galchenyuk red that someone gifted to me a few years ago for my birthday that I absolutely cannot wear anymore, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to change the name for reasons I'm not going to get into here. But I also have, like, my first ever hockey jersey was a Montreal Canadiens, like a red Montreal Canadiens jersey. It doesn't really fit me anymore. It's back at home in Newfoundland. I didn't bring it with me here because I brought a few jerseys. I have my, I don't even have my Patrick Waugh, do I? Anyway, but I have like a red plain jersey. I also have a white Patrick Waugh with a 1993 cup patch on it. I have my white Winter Classic Carey Price and my baby blue. But maybe I need to add some more. But anyway, we're going to get back to the chat. George says it is Slav. We see, by the way, guys, a reminder that we're answering channel members for priority. So if I skip your chat, I'm sorry. As you can see, there's a lot of chats here. So donations to everyone who donated today. Thank you so much. Unbelievable again. Or channel members get priority. Philippe Le Poirier says, if we pick a D again, I'm going to go on a hunger strike for a full afternoon. Well, Philippe, that's basically what I've done here. Well, actually, that's not true. Well, it is true during the stream. But you know what? Now that you said hunger strike, just to tempt you, I got a bon d'eau suisse that I'm about to eat. But Jesse, I think people are overreacting. Like, I'm not overreacting. Not to say that you're overreacting, but I think that picking another defenseman is not, like, it doesn't fit the team. But again, like, there are so many good defensemen that I think there's a very real chance that is the player that Montreal thinks is number one. And you can trade some of your existing defensemen as well, and usually those guys who are already established might even have more value. I don't want it to happen, but I won't lose my mind if they do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, right. We were definitely surprised last year when Kent pulled a curveball on us with Reinbacher, right? But the jury is still out on all of this. Whenever a selection is made, it's always only years later, right? 5 years later at least, where you even get a general inkling of where this is all kind of going and everything else like that. So while I don't necessarily want us to draft a D-man, it's like, I will say that my trust in Kent Hughes definitely overrides that. He must be seeing something. He must be getting some type of information, right? And again, there's always the possibility of once we're drafting that player, the trade possibilities that it opens up from there. We know what we need to address on this team. I believe that Kent knows that. I believe that he's going to be taking steps to attain that offensive player that we need, whether it's through one means or another, right? And that's why I felt like tonight was really like kind of like a win-win situation because either we, move up the draft and we just add to an already amazing prospect pool, or, we kind of stand back, but we're still going to get a really solid player. But this is why it's so good of not putting your eggs in one basket, of really casting a big net with all the prospects that we've had, because again, you can get these guys sometimes, even fifth overall, right, where they can end up being one of the better players in that draft in the end, right? It's all about the management team. And what we've learned from the Montreal Canadiens of late is that it is a team effort. They are getting together, the Montreal Canadiens, brain trust. They are putting their minds together to make the absolute best decision possible for us.
That's the thing, right? Like, I just have so much faith now. Like, it's weird because last year, you guys maybe remember, I got to get these out of here. Can I, tuck these in? Last year when they picked Reinbacher, I mean, I did a joke thing. We're not gonna revisit that. But like we were kind of like, oh, really? Honestly, Jesse, even if the Habs pick a defenseman this year, I just feel like that's not going to be my reaction. Like, okay, actually, we got some funny chats. People were scared by my eating, and we got Hockey Junkie, our boy, in the chat. Everyone say hi to Hockey Junkie. What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Actually, look, look, if you're up for it, can I actually send a link to this? I don't know if I can, but let me know in the chat if sometime you want to come on the channel soon, Hockey Junkie, because we'd love to have you on, especially now that we know where the Habs are picking. So leave another chat. But he said he came in right as I was staring into the cameras, eating. And he said, yeah, anyway, it's funny. People were a little freaked out by that. But that's the thing, Jesse. I think Montreal is just in such a good position. I think I trust their management so much now that we've seen them over the last year and maybe more, right? Just the way they've handled everything. I feel like I just have this utmost confidence. Like if they come out and say Montreal Canadiens are picking Sam Dickinson 5th overall, I'd be like, absolutely right. Let's go watch some Sam Dickinson highlights, right? I feel like I built up such a trust that it's going to be like, no matter what happens, I'm going to be thrilled.
Absolutely right, because there is so much time, there is so much scouting, there's so much money that really goes into these selections. Like this is a business, it really matters a lot for the organization, right? So this team is working on it, and I know they're so happy to at least now know, okay, this is where we stand. We didn't fall back. You know, I think that we got a very solid player last year at 5th overall, and I believe that we will do that again this year as well.
Yeah, for sure, Jesse. We got a couple chats I got to get to right now. Filip Poirier says, I was a Michkov fan since 2021. Felt betrayed when they called Popcorn. Hey, Popcorn nickname. We know who came up with that. He's in the chat right now. But yes, we got George saying I had my first jersey hanging on my wall. I got it from the Montreal Forum when I lived in Montreal. I was 4 years old. No name or number. It's red. George, that is unbelievable. That is such a cool story. I love that. I wish my story was as cool. My red Habs jersey is signed by the old St. John's Fog Devils QMJHL mascot because I was a kid and I was dumb and I thought autographs were so cool. His mascot, his name was Scorch. He was a devil. He was literally a big devil, and I'm pretty sure the New Jersey Devils didn't like it. He signed my red hat. It's still there. Maybe if I can get the jersey, I'll show you guys on the stream. Yeah. Denise says, I will cry like a baby. Please no defenseman is what it is. Hockey Junkie says, I'm happy with 5th. I'm hoping they go off the board and pick whoever's related to Pizzetta and draft eligible. You got to pick the guy with the best lettuce, right? That's it. He also said, man, I'm definitely joining you guys sometime soon. I would tonight, but I'm watching the kids right now, and they are gone wild on the candy and stuff. Well, that's it. Hey, man, family comes first. But again, we'd love to have you anytime. We'll stay in contact. I talk to you every now and then. But, I mean, we got to have you on the channel. I mean, everyone in the chat who wants that, give a like on the stream. People would love that, right? We got to have some kind of combo video in here. You know, we're all buddies in this space. That is what it is. Drew was on the channel. We just need Hockey Junkie on the channel next. Would love that. He also says Mario Armia would still go 1st overall in 2024. I don't care what anyone says, and he's 2 years younger than Celebrini. Absolutely. Yeah, you imagine someone with Armia's talent, Jesse, coming into this draft right now. I mean, I'm just saying, he's big and he's skilled. What else do you need?
That's it. He's just a total unit. He's put it all together. He's just ready to just tear it up next year. He's just a new man through and through, and he's just ready to light the lamp for the Habs.
I heard Baby Mario is coming up the ranks, but he still has to ride his Yoshi, and doesn't really work at the junior hockey levels. He's not going to be able to make that jump, but it is what it is. Armia, I mean, Armia is basically this. Just pretend that says 40 and pretend he has blonde hair. Pretend everything else is there. Oh no, is that gonna? Oh no, this is happening again, guys. Bear with me 1 second. I just gotta fix something. We're gonna go quiet for a second. Please bear with me. Thank you. And we're back. So sometimes in OBS, which is what we record in, the hotkeys to bring up different pictures stop working. And that's exactly what just happened. So usually that's not a problem. But now when we get this stream that's over an hour, sometimes it does. You see Henry saying, go Habs go from Oregon's biggest Habs fan. You guys are great. I love Habs die. Just keep it going, boys. Well, amazing stuff, Henry. What's up from Oregon? And Jesse, I got a message from someone a little while ago, huge fan from BC as well. The support you guys show us is absolutely amazing. As we got another super chat from John Raymond. John, one of the biggest supporters of the channel. You guys all know John. Shout out to you, John. Amazing stuff. He said, I would love to see a Hockey Junkie Habs Digest team up. $5 for 5th. Show the boys some love. No, show John some love. We've gotten lots of love in this stream. Wait, how did that work? How did that super Yeah, see, look, I played the super chat, and now it's not working again. So, but I still have it here. Don't worry. But show John some love. Guys, message everyone in the chat, George, John, Denis, anyone who sent a donation or has supported us in any way. You guys are the ones that deserve love. We put in the work for you guys, but Jesse, it's the fans that make the show. That's what it always is.
It is for sure. And what a great show it is. What a great community. As George was saying earlier too, when you come into this space, it's just such a great place to get a real education on the Habs through and throughout. You're hearing such great takes, different perspectives. We know we all like to really stay really tuned in, right? So we're here and we're just supporting our boys all in the best way as a community, as we're taking the next step forward as an organization.
100%. It's we got some great stuff coming, guys. Like, I mean, we are growing like we never expected. Not just us, but everyone across the Digest Network. Might as well pump the network while we're here, guys. If you guys didn't know, I'm sure a lot of you do know, but I'm sure a lot of you don't. Habs Digest is not a one-off. We have 20 channels in this network from all kinds of different sports. We have Raptors Digest, the OG. We got my brother who hosts Jays Digest and Leafs Digest, which you've probably seen in your feed. We also have so many NBA teams, Celtics, Knicks, many, many more. We have MLB, again, like I said, Jays, and we have soon to come Dodgers and Yankees, if you guys are baseball fans. We also have Wrestle Digest. For any of you WWE fans, I'm an occasional host on that channel as well. My buddies Casey and Brady, they run stuff over there for now, and I'm on it as well. So if you're into any of that stuff, go check out some of our other channels. We'd really, really appreciate it. Denise says, development of the player is the key and the Habs' secret. You know what's funny, Jesse? We're probably just going to get into a few things before we end the stream. Development for so long was the big thing that we said the Habs couldn't do. It was the thing that the organization didn't buy into. We didn't have a proper development staff. For some reason, it's still mind-blowing to me that that was a thing. But ever since we implemented a development staff, how crazy has it been to see these players grow year over year? It's something that I think we're just not used to. Seeing a guy come to the Habs and really take huge strides, not just tiny, tiny ones based on, and your hope is based on nothing but like a tiny little sample of a couple games. That's something that's crazy. And it's a great point from Denis that like that is kind of what differentiates this iteration of the Habs from anything else.
Yeah, the development also with the analytics, really bringing that on. We see Martin St. Louis, he was getting input from the analytics department all the time and then bringing it into practice. Okay, this is what we now really need to work on and everything else. And I think that obviously there's a great team that's doing a lot of work, but at the center of the development for the Montreal Canadiens, I believe is no other than Martin St. Louis. Because we know Slav, right, the young star of this organization on the rise. This was Martin St. Louis' project from the beginning of the year, right? We covered this earlier on the season where he said, basically, the assistant coaches don't talk to Slav as much, that he wanted to make sure that he was getting direction, just not playing banana phone, just hearing it from one person. It's a clear message that he's getting, right? So all this great stuff that we're seeing from Slav is really in thanks to Martin St. Louis. And that's so brave on his part, right? Because if it doesn't go well for Slav, your first overall pick, now you're the one getting all the responsibility for that if that doesn't go well. But Marty St. Louis, not being a stranger to ballsy moves, he took it on his shoulder. He says, I'm going to take the future of this organization in my hands, with my great hockey mind to really shape and mold Juraj Slafkovsky into the hockey player that I know that he can be. So I think he's been fundamental to his development and just their whole friendship, how that's really just progressed over the season, I think has been huge for this team.
Unbelievable. And you're very right. Coach Marty and some of the stuff that goes on is unbelievable. How much faith they have in him. And also like, when you're motivated to put in that work for your teammates, for your coach, not just in a game, but outside the game, everything else, that your diet, your workouts, all that stuff, wanting to succeed is not just every single game you got to go give your best. You got to give your best everywhere. And I think that's what's really being instilled in this team with their culture. So it's really, really amazing. Guys, I say we just got a couple more minutes here before we call it. We've been going for a while, an hour and 15. We're getting a bit tired. It's getting to the end of this, but George says I was picking my Tim Hortons goal scorers for tonight. Lehkonen has 5 goals for Colorado. That's awesome. I love Arturi Lehkonen. That's one of the trades that I think is going to go down as maybe a mistake, but at the same time, like he didn't really fit the timeline, so I get it. You trade for a promising prospect in Barron, who ultimately was and still is like a solidly promising prospect. But Jesse, isn't it hard to go see Lecky just be such a clutch player for a Stanley Cup winning team and see him have 5, like just him being completely dominant? I love that guy so much and I miss him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just playing the game the right way and everything else. We're lucky. We're lucky to have him for the time that we did, though, for sure. Nice to see him having so much success over with the Avalanche right now. Just a little bit of a different window, but again, so nice to see players that play the game the right way, really getting rewarded. But it's Justin Barron's one of those players that we keep kind of discounting. But I think that he's not done yet. Maybe kind of proving us wrong a little bit. This is gonna be a big summer for him this offseason. What he can really do. We know the offense is there. He just needs to improve that defensive part of his game. If he can be a very good player. He scored the second most goals for the Montreal Canadiens behind Mike Matheson this year, right? Like, for being in the AHL so much, this is saying this guy can produce at the NHL level.
Yeah, he can. And I think he's really, really awesome. Lecky was one of my favorite players. I think a lot of just fan favorites, right? But hey, he got a great stick. Is what it is, and but hey, hoping Barron can really, really come back. But guys, yeah, I think that's probably gonna do it. I'm gonna give it a minute. I'm gonna say it. Let's do it now, because the last time I did the outro, and then we got another donation, and then I read the donation, then we cut the black, and you guys liked that. No, you guys asked for another outro yesterday after that. But anyway, I'm gonna give this a minute, Jesse, for them to just close things up. If there's anyone that wants to send anything in the last little bit, we would really appreciate it. But I think that's gonna be it, Jesse. 5th overall pick. If we had to make one prediction right now, who is it going to be? My prediction is I think they are going to pick Cayden Lindstrom, because I think he's going to fall to them, and I don't think he's going to make another trade for a top 10 pick. I think it's going to be Lindstrom at 5, no big surprises, and if Kent Hughes does make another trade, it's going to be later in the first round to move up into the teens.
Absolutely. And what an amazing addition that would be. I would be so excited of the addition of Cayden Lindstrom. I think he would fit exactly what we're looking for with this team. Having the big boys with Dach, with Slav, with Lindstrom, I would just love that combination.
Would love it too. And if he's gone, hey, he's gone, and the Habs will do something else. But it is what it is. Thank you so much, everyone. George saying have a good night, everyone. Thanks, Josh and Jesse. Have a good night, George. Have a good night, every single one of you who tuned into this stream. Still over 330 people in here. Absolutely insane how many people tuned into this. But guys, as always, that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on your way out. We're 8 away from 250. I'm sure a lot of you haven't hit that. Let's get that up to 250 on your way out, and hit subscribe while you're there. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.